Good morning. I have to confess, I kind of twisted the pastor's arm. I told him I was going to give him a half hug since he selected Darren and not me. So he got the whole hug today.
You got the whole hug now.
Well, let me start at the beginning. I grew up going to church every Sunday. My grandmother made sure I was there, never missed a Sunday. I was about 11, and a young lady that went to church with me told me, she was in my same class, she said, you know what, I just got saved, I'm gonna get baptized, I'm not going to hell like you. And I'm like, oh, well, I gotta fix this. So she went to a revival, and I said, okay, is the revival still going on? I said, no, it's over. And I said, okay, I gotta figure a way to get to a revival. It was another one across the street. I went there, and I'll confess, I heard nothing that they said. It was a whole bunch of hollering and screaming and praying and singing, and I went to the front, and whatever they said I was supposed to do, I did. I prayed, I bowed, I got up, and they said, you believe it? Yeah, everything. I did everything. Yep, I'm good. Got baptized, attended the church, continued till I got out of high school. I left my grandmother's house, came to the beautiful city of Orlando. Eventually made friends, Darren and others, that we had big dreams. Music, we were gonna do some amazing things. I found myself, I joined the church, stopped going, turned away from God completely. And I was living a lifestyle of a sinner. I was completely inundated in the lifestyle. And I was pretty arrogant. I thought, you know, I have this whole Jesus thing worked out. If I die, right before I die, my goal was to pray and ask God to forgive me. I remember that part. You know, I didn't remember anything else. I still said the Lord's Prayer before I went to sleep, and I prayed before I ate. That was about as much Bible you're going to get from me. But I went on, and one day I was working, and I was in the truck, the radio station. I couldn't get an FM station to come in. I said, all right, I'll go AM. Turn AM station. I said, couldn't get anybody to come in, but I believe it was 9:50 a.m. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I can listen to this. Yeah, I'm good. I'm me. I can listen to this. Ain't no big deal. The man was preaching, and as he started preaching, he started really digging in upon the gospel and examining yourself. And he started pointing out key words and key statements about how you examine yourself, whether you are in the faith. And I was looking at myself, and riding. I had a ride from Orlando to Sanford. I was delivering for the warehouse. And along the lines, he keyed out some points of if you are living in sin, if you're in fornication, and, you know, if you have hate in your heart towards somebody, you are murdering. I'm like, everything he was listing was me. And it broke me. I realized that I wasn't as smart as I thought I was. I didn't have this God thing figured out. If I died right now, I was going to hell. And I was like, oh my gosh. It impacted me so much I started crying because I didn't realize that I was an enemy of God at that point. I had done everything. I thought I had Jesus figured out. I thought I had that God thing in the back pocket, but I didn't. I was lost, and I was on my way to hell. Okay? I cried. I got to the other side. I started praying. I said, God, I don't know what to do. I'm lost, and I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. And I really felt a strong sense that I had to give everything up. Now, when I say everything, I go back to, I mentioned Darren. We'd already started a record company. We were doing extremely well. CDs in, music on the radio. We had visions of being P. Diddy and Biggie Smalls, if you don't know who that is. Some of you do. So I was P. Diddy, of course, and he could rap. But I started really thinking about that, and Darren was calling me and said, hey man, we gotta go, man, we got the CDs in, we're gonna go party, let's go celebrate. And I said, okay, I'm wrestling on the inside with these thoughts, and I'm wrestling, and I kept remembering, I said, God, what about my friends? I really thought about that. I started really examining, like, what am I giving up? I tried to make a means for it. I said, well, I can hold on if, we can just get this music out, I get my millions, and then, Lord, I'll follow you. Wasn't working that way. I got in the car with Darren and we said, hey man, let's go party. Let's go get some party favors and alcohol, and we're gonna just go have a good time. I got in the car with them, and as they, we picked up whatever we were getting, they said, man, you partaking? I said, nah, which was very odd because I did, and it was very odd. He said, I'm not smoking, I'm not drinking, I'm not doing anything. And he said, what's up? I said, I started going along the lines. I said, where's Tupac? Which was an idol of ours at the time. He's dead. Where's Biggie? He's dead too. Okay. I said, where are they? They're dead. And I said, but where now? They lived the lifestyle that we're trying to live. We want to be like them, and they dead. So where are they? I said, well, they in hell, man. If they lived like they were living there in hell. I said, well, what about the Egyptians who tried to deal with the Israelites? I said, they've been in hell how long? How long are we going to live? And I said, examine it. How long are we going to live? I said, 70, 80 years, maybe. All along, I'm telling them, I wasn't preaching to them. I was preaching to myself. I had to get out myself, because these are the things that I was holding on to. I was saying, well, if I just hold on a little while longer, we'll make this money. God wasn't having that. He put it on me, and I just threw up on them. Unfortunately, they were, those in the car were like, man, you killing my high. I just went on and on. I just said, y'all can have everything, which was a quiet moment because I'd given a lot to be where we were. And when we pulled in the driveway, I was fully acknowledging that I had lost all my friends. I given up everything in my business that I was involved in. And even Darren didn't even speak to me when we got out. I was like, oh man, I really done messed up with him. I get home, I go to sleep, I wrestled before I slept. I was just like, Lord, I want to give everything, but Lord, what can you do about my friends? And I just, went to sleep praying. I woke up at about 1:45, 2 o'clock in the morning to a phone call from Darren, which isn't odd, but that night it was odd. He called me crying. He said, man, I got saved. I was like, what? He said, man, I got saved. Lord is real, man. He said, man, I want to do gospel. I hung the phone up from Darren. I immediately rolled over and I cried and I wept and I said, Lord, for you I live, for you I die. You can have it all. I am yours completely, because nobody but God could find salvation in the conversation I had with him. It was just amazing that God could change his heart, could break him. It's God. It's a miracle. Salvation is a miracle. When God changes you, you're changed. And the close is, you said, well, you gave your life once. I hear you say you gave your life again. Proof and evidence that God has changed you is he's continuing to change you. When I could say the Lord's Prayer before, then I said the Lord's Prayer after. And I got to the part where it says, forgive those as I forgive you. And I got confused in that moment. I said, wait a minute, I have to let go of the people who have wronged me rightfully. I have to forgive them in order? Yes. And when I forgave, when I looked at all of the pain that I had, I compared it to all of the sins that I did in my life. My list was far, far greater than what they had done to me. And I forgave them, and a weight came off of me that showed me and continues to show me that God's power is real. So trust in the salvation of Christ, that he will continue saving you, continue washing you, continue changing you. You'll be able to look back and see what you used to be. You will be able to say, I once was lost, but now I'm found. I once was blind, but now I see. Trust and believe.
Amen. Chad. Thank you.